بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين
اللهم صل على محمد وآله
Alhamdulillah, we had good discussions among the groups, and I'm going to just summarize what you mentioned and what you shared, maybe with some little extra points. The idea of these group discussions was to see how we can bring Salat and charity into the main concern of the school or madrasa. As you rightly mentioned, this is an issue that needs a common understanding of all the people who are involved. Teachers, admin, parents need to be aware of this. I think before every term, we need to have a meeting of the admin and teachers to share our ideas and plans about what we want to do with respect to Salat and charity. In this session, we can evaluate the previous term activities and results, and also make necessary adjustments or additions. The minimum is that at least this is a good reminder. When people see that we have meeting of all the key players about Salat and charity, this gives them more, energy and more kind of encouragement to work on this. So it's important to have such meeting before every term starts. As you said, there are things that we need to do when it comes to their understanding of significance of Salat. This should be made available in the syllabus. This should be perhaps by having in the early years at least, and maybe this can repeat again, an hour for Salat, not saying Salat, just as a subject. There are many things to tell them about Salat. So for one term or 1 year, there can be something on Salat. Then when they go further, for example, after 3-4 years, we can have another slot for Salat, because now you can tell them more. You cannot say everything to a child. You have to be very selective. Maybe more kind of stories and this type of things. But when they become teenager, they need a higher level of introduction to Salat. So Salat can be by itself a subject, but also we recommend those who teach aqaid, akhlaq, or even history, to refer to Salat when possible, when they want to mention examples, this type of things. And of course in ahkam also part of it is Salat. Maybe one of the things that we can give to students is a license for Salat. That, for example, after you test their qira'ah and performance of Salat and wuzu, you give them a license which is valid for 2 years or 3 years, and then it has to be renewed, because you may forget. And also, for example, you cannot be very strict with a child about recitation, but when they grow, you have to be more careful. So this license has to be renewed and make it very nice, very beautiful. One of the things that you mentioned which is very important, is to make the place of Salat a very special place. We should try to find the best place for Salat. And as much as possible, not to use that place for other things. Because if they use the same place for eating and exam and other things, then other memories come to their mind, when they go to that place. So if possible, we should have a special musalla in which we just go for prayer. Very nicely decorated. One of the things we can do is to make every class responsible for decoration and maintenance every week, for example, or every 2 weeks. And maybe they can also involve their parents. If you have a space, it would be good that you invite parents, but according to a kind of list. Yeah, for example, this week or these 2 weeks, this class is responsible. They can also invite as guests their parents, like their mother, for example, or if they're boys, and this, gives more kind of attention to Salat, and they can come and help. Yes.
Help decorate the room?
With decoration, but also to be part of the Salat.
Or to attend
Yes.
Salatul Jama'ah?
We want to invite you to our Salat.
Uh-huh.
It's very important. So, invite people to a party.
Yeah.
So we want to invite our parents to Salat. You don't know what type of Salat we have in the school, come and see. So this would be very good. Something interesting is also that if we can have before Adhan a dua or beautiful munajat or some Quranic recitation be recited. But Quran, I think, because has to be very respected, so maybe you have to be careful about Quran. But something that prepares them before even Adhan. So for example, if Salat needs 10-15 minutes, it's good if 5 minutes before Salat starts, we are all sitting there. So when Azan is played from a speaker, ideally we should all be there. Yeah? Not that, yes. If after hearing Adhan we go for Salat, it's like people who go when it's a yellow light. When light is green, we have to, not yellow light. Okay? So, before Adhan, we should have something, either, for example, just a bell rings, or maybe some munajat, something nice, and then people get ready for Salat. One of the things that you may do, I'm not 100% sure, but a suggestion, is to bring Salat to a central position. Maybe you can use also this in your timetables. For example, you have classes from 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, and suppose 12 is Salat time. So you can say 3 hours to Salat. 9 to 10, you put 3 hours to Salat. 2 hours to Salat, 1 hour to Salat. Pardon?
Like a countdown.
Yes, like a countdown. In the past, in Qom, what they used to have a special clock that was set by Maghrib. Yeah? So, for example, they say, I have Mubahise 2 hours before Maghrib. 1 hour. Still, we have this mentality in Qom. Because we think about Salat, so it's, even Maraje their lectures are sometimes like this. It's set by salat, not by time. Okay? So this can be also a good thing, that they know in madrasa everything is built around salat. Yeah? We have, for example, 2 hours, 3 hours before salat, 1 hour maybe after salat, but everything is, directing us towards salat. I think one of the things we can have if we have workshops on salat or classes on salat is also to tell them about other people also praying. They should know that it's not only we Muslims who pray. Prayer is something that you find in all cultures. Show them prayer of Jews, prayers of Christians, prayer of Hindus, prayer of, I don't know, even Buddhists who may not have God, but they have, prayer. So that they know that this is very natural part of human life. And we are not exceptions. This is something I thought it's useful. The idea of making them feel, something special about their prayer mat, about their tasbih, that some people said, sajjada, that it's for them. I think this is also a nice idea, that they have their own sajjada or their own tasbih, and they feel, special about it. Maybe if it is practical for you, even you can fix the space of every person. Maybe for boys it's easier, maybe girls, sometimes cannot say prayer. But for boys, or, you can say that this is your place it's like, people who have season ticket for football, they have fixed seat. So then they know where to go and they can feel special about it. The presence of teachers, as you mentioned, it's very important. They should see that their teachers are very passionate about salat, and we don't need to have policing. Yes, maybe without them noticing, we can check. And then very gently, indirectly, if we see problems, we tell them, even they don't know how we notice this. But they shouldn't feel that they are being checked, watched. Something which I think is unfortunately not receiving enough attention is the concept of silence. I don't know why we are more leaning towards making noise than keeping silent. Maybe for us, it's easier to speak than being silent. Yeah? For every person to speak is easier. If I tell you, you should remain silent for 1 hour, it's more difficult than telling you should give a lecture for 1 hour. Yeah, when you are asked to be silent for 1 hour, you think I want to explode. So we have tendency for speaking. Even if you don't speak, we feel that we should play something. There must be something going on. We have to bring back the concept of silence. And our soul needs some rest, especially for prayer. So if before prayer starts, during the prayer, and sometime after prayer, we can have absolute silence. The only thing that we would hear then would be the voice of the imam, or, for example, when we have to say something. But no noise. Very quiet. In some monastic communities, they have this habit that after prayer, in some of their offices, they don't speak for half an hour, for 1 hour, because silence is very important for them. Maybe we cannot do like that, but at least shortly before Salah and after Salah, this quietness and silence should be there. No mobile phones, ringtones, talking, it's very good that alhamdulillah people socialize, but when they are sitting on the rows and prayer mat for salat, that's the time that we should observe silence. If we want to talk, then we can go and talk later, inshallah. Yes.
What about before the salat? Because I used to put Ziyarat Ashura every day before, especially before the Salat al-Maghrib, or Dua al-Qadah.
For yourself?
For myself, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. But I'm saying we don't need to always read or say something. Even when people go to ziyarah, sometimes they ask me, advice. I say few things. But one of the things is that sometimes just sit silently in the haram. You don't need to say or read something. Just be silent and let Imam inspire you and talk to you. When you are speaking, you don't let chance to the other person. Pardon?
Good idea.
Yeah.
I never heard it before.
So, before salat, after salat, a little bit just sit. Yes.
So what would we tell the children? Like, they sit and when their minds just wander, so do we just allow for that? We tell them to concentrate on something or think about something in particular, or
You can say, think to prepare yourself for salat. Bring your attention together and think about the significance of what you are going to do, what you are going to say. Silence is sometimes just physical, means you don't say anything and you don't hear anything. But sometimes then your mind is very busy. If you can let also your mind to be at peace, don't think about things as much as you can. Of course, we don't have control. Our mind can go everywhere, but at least you don't follow what comes to your mind and just relax. Gain, kind of peace in your mind and heart. Okay, we stop for salat, and inshallah, if we have time, we continue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.